Hi, welcome to another episode with me, Liz, from my channel, My Small Holding Soul. For those of you that are new, My Small Holding Soul is a place where I document my allotment journey. And I have been doing it for a while. Over the last few years, there's been quite a few allotment tours, but I've actually started the channel again. And the idea behind My Small Holding Soul is I would love to have my own sort of miniature farm where I could grow more, raise a few animals, that sort of thing. But I don't have the space or the money to do that at the moment. So this is kind of my waiting room. There's a lovely YouTuber called Jess Sowards who started off in Arkansas and now lives in South Carolina. And she has this beautiful expression that is turn your waiting room into a teaching room, essentially, like a space where you learn what you need to know so that when you get to the place you want to get to, you've got some skills behind you already. So turn your waiting room into a classroom. And my allotment is just that, it's a waiting room so that if and when I ever get my small holding, which is what we call a homestead here in the UK, when I get my small holding, then I'll have actually practiced growing vegetables, maybe raising a few things and stuff like that. So the learning curve will not be as steep going into the small holding as it might be. Anyway, so that's a little bit of background for those of you that are new. I have a few things to share with you today. And I've decided that because it's mid-February, I'm going to get on with sowing some things. And there will be other YouTubers out there who've been growing peppers and aubergines and cucumbers and all that good stuff. They've been doing that for over a month now. In fact, a lot of YouTubers you will see having planted their onion seeds on Boxing Day. That's a thing here in the UK. I'm just going to go through some of the stuff I'm planting now. And it does actually include my chili peppers and my bell peppers because I have very limited space. I'm growing them at home on a kitchen sideboard. Don't really have windowsills. There's one here, but it's covered in pottery and plants. Don't have a lot of windowsill space in the house in general. So I have propagator. In fact, I have three, a large one and two small ones that go on my kitchen sideboard. And then I grow the plants in there. The problem comes is when you need to transplant all those out and keep them warm. At the moment, my greenhouse has got no glass in. I'm moving from one plot to another at the allotments, and we've taken all the glass out, we've moved it, and we now need to put it all back together. So there's not even anywhere I could take them to sort of, as they get a bit bigger, to grow on at the moment. So I've started a bit later. It won't make a huge amount of difference. It won't make a huge amount of difference at all. It's sort of 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks after other people have been doing it. But plants are really resilient and they do grow quickly and catch up, especially as the warmer months come in. That gives them a boost. So to start with then, I'm going to go through my peppers. And I haven't even sorted these out, which is great. So let's start with the bell pepper. This is Sweet Beauty bell pepper. It's an F1 variety. And it says so February to April, and there's approximately 25 seeds in there. I will probably plant maybe 10 of those, hoping, or maybe half. Let's do 12, something like that, and see how many we can get to come up. The reason I will plant a few more of those is because at the moment I haven't got many other just snacking pepper varieties, and these will go towards salads throughout the summer. Also, I will chop these and put them in the freezer ready for putting in meals such as bolognese or anything else like that, using in fajitas. So I will actually, because they produce a fair amount of peppers, but probably never grow as much as I need to, purely because they do better in the greenhouse. And then again, we're back to the age old thing of peppers in greenhouses need space. So do other things in greenhouses and not having a huge amount of space. So that's a sweet variety. This one is called Snack Bite, and these are smaller peppers. They're thinner. These are really lovely. It says they're ideal for children. They are mild, like the bell pepper. And again, February to April sowing. They I love the different colours, obviously, of peppers, but these are great. These are actually a little bit more expensive in the shops as well, so a great thing to be able to capitalise on and growing your own. There's only 6 seeds in that packet. Sorry, I'm straining with my eyes because I've forgotten my glasses. So there's only 6 seeds in that packet, so I will be planting all of those. These seeds are from King's. I've got very varying varieties from different places. Okay, so we have Fiery Tongues Pepper Chili. It's another F1 variety. You can see the long red there, which is the Fiery Tongue. There's 8 seeds in that. I will probably plant half of those. Now, these are very similar to what I've also got here, which is there's a cayenne chili there. You can see those are a bit thinner and possibly a bit spicier, I would imagine, because they're called Fiery Tang. That's a cayenne chili. And then I've also got, you probably can't see this, but this is cayenne long slim, which are pretty much the same as those. So that's going to be an interesting selection. See which come out a bit more fiery. I'm presuming it's going to be these ones. I will probably plant, if I've got 8 seeds, I will probably plant them all. Again, if they come up well, it's not going to be the end of the world. The nice thing about these is that you can keep the chilies whole. You can maybe put them in a bottle in some oil and make yourself a really nice spicy chili oil. They can also be ground down with a mortar and pestle, and that's really nice because you can make your own chili powder, and obviously it depends on how fiery your chilies are. So that's those and the cayennes. You can't see this here. I'll try and find a picture of it online. These are habanero limon, so lemon habaneros. Again, should be quite hot. These are from Parker's, these little silver packets, and there's 25 seeds in there. I won't be planting all of those. Again, I might go for sort of 10 or so, because that would give me some to give away, to swap with other people. And then I've got another chili here, which is gourmet jalapeno. Again, February to April sowing, 20 seeds in this packet. Now, I want to make cowboy chili jam this year. And I've seen it made with green ones, so I'm not sure whether or not I need to get a different variety. I'll have to have a look into that. But this is it's not a hugely spicy one. I mean, you put jalapenos, you see them on pizzas and things like that, so they're pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to growing those. I've had some of those over the last few years. Again, not huge amounts. What I haven't got with me at the moment is the things like the Marconi red, which are sweet pepper. Sorry, not potato, sweet pepper. Those are the long sort of cone-shaped ones. I like those. I think it's Marconi. Is it Marconi? Yeah, I think so. They're also really good in salads and things. So I'll be getting some of those to put in. All of the ones I've shown you so far, I've not planted. So they're going to be going in this week. But these ones I have. So this is a habanero flavour without the heat, and it's called Trinidad Perfume. They're sort of small yellow. They come about that size, maybe a bit smaller. Yellow chili peppers. And then this one is quite high on the old what's it called, Scoville rating, which is how you rate peppers from sort of like 0 to millions. So this one is extremely hot and not for the faint-hearted. So this one I'm growing primarily to feed to my 21-year-old, who never finds anything spicy enough, never finds anything hot enough. We did 5 weeks in Mexico, and only one time did he find something that he found too spicy, which is unbelievable, but that's what he's like. When he was about 10, he used to have a party trick where he would drink ghost chili extract. And this was usually when there were a lot of other adults around, and we'd all had a few drinks, and he would pull out this party trick. It cost me a fortune in milk, because he would down a lot of milk afterwards to take the sting away. But it has given him sort of an iron cast stomach for this stuff. So anyway, these are, what are they called? Trinidad Scorpion. Now, the reason they've got E written on the packets is because these are my own seeds. and I differentiate them out because I grow a lot for the allotments as well. We have a plant sale every year on the weekend where the last frost is meant to have happened. So it's usually around it's the Saturday closest to the 10th of May here in Gloucestershire. And we grow tons of plants for that. So some seeds I bought this year have actually already been sown. They're little flower plants generally, and they're coming up, they're doing well. Another reason why I'm holding off putting some of my own stuff in, because I'm trying to get those out of the way and sorted. And once they're a bit bigger, they can start growing on elsewhere, and then I can concentrate on what I need to grow for food sustainability. Anyway, so all of the peppers are put in these trays. These ones are recycled from a local garden centre, and where I've bought the plants for the plant sale in the past as plugs, and then I've grown them on. This year I'm growing from seed, but these are great. You can see nice conical shape. They've got a decent hole in the bottom that you can actually stick your finger in. I actually use a pencil or something like some rounded scissors here. They've got a great, they'll just pop in there, which just helps push the plug out when you need to. So all my peppers are sown in here. And I'll probably do half a tray on each variety. And where I want to plant 10 and say there's only 8 spaces, I will double them up in these cells. Because by the time they've grown in here, they'll grow on fine in the next pot. But these are great. They go in the propagator, which is not much wider than that. So they go in and they sit in rows, and then I label them up. So I've got a label. So that's one of my labels, and that just sits in the soil in the corner. And I might put it halfway down to say that the ones in front are that variety and the ones in front of that one are a different variety. So really simple. I will add some footage of that in either in this video or another one, how I've actually done it and how it's set up. Something else I'm really excited to be getting started, and these I've already sown at the allotment. Now, you don't really sow them till March or April normally. These are Brussel Sprout Flowers, and they're called Flower Sprout Petit Posy. They're open sprouts and they've got decorative leaves. Now, some people call them like a cross between broccoli and Brussels sprouts and kale. I'd never tried them before, and they were on sale at our local farm shop. Shout out to Pete Drinkwater and all his team in Ebrington. They were on sale there recently, and I tried them, and they were just delicious. Not so Brussels sprout like that it's over flavored as Brussels sprout, but not so kale like that it's like kale either. And we sort of fried them off. We tried them as spoiled as well, and they were just really nice. So I've decided to have a go at growing them. So it says here, so March to April in trays under glass at 13 degrees. Now, it's not 13 degrees around here at the minute. It's probably maxing out this week at about 8 to 10 degrees. And I have grown these in damp compost in a small tray, in a small line. I've only grown a few of them. There's meant to be 30 seeds in one of these packs. And I've covered them with a plastic cloche. They're inside my shed next to the shed window, and they are coming up. So that's really great. Why have I grown them so early? I was a bit bored at the allotments, I'll be honest. Everyone else was doing the physical heavy stuff, and I got some seeds, and I just thought, I'm going to plant a few, most of which were not meant to be planted till later in like next month or the month after. And I'm just going to grow them and see how they do. It's a bit of an experiment, but if they're planted this early and they come up and they're protected from frost because they're in a building, they're covered twice, and so I just thought I'll give them a try, because if I get some decent plants that can go out fairly early, sort of May time, then or late April, early May, then I'm going to be ahead of the game. If I'm not, I've still got seeds that I can replace them with. And then I'm just going to show you how I keep my seeds. So traditionally, I've always kept my seeds in one of these little containers. And see there, all the different sorts. Yeah. And this is a have you seen those diamond pictures that you put all the little sort of gems onto to make the picture? Well, that's what you keep in these little containers. Let's find one that's easier for you to see. There we are. Number 14's got some decent seeds in. Let's show you. So there's number 14, which I believe is probably going to be some sort of squash or pumpkin. And they're labelled on the top with a number. And then I have a corresponding sheet. This is box 2. And I have a corresponding sheet that tells me what's in each number. But for example, you can see there those. Obviously, they're sweet corn. Number 51. They hold about 60 per box. This one's a little bit messy at the moment because at the end of last season, I gave a few of these little packets to other people to use some seeds and to bring me back the packets. And as yet, we've not had them back. So this one here, that's an onion seed. Obviously, I didn't plant mine on Boxing Day. Right, I can't get them all back in now, which is just typical. That's a drawback to one of these, because once you take them out, they kind of sort of rattle around and move a bit. And if you're anything like me, you want them in number order, which gets a bit pedantic. But there we go. So that's box 2. There's loads of different seeds in there. There's everything from cucumbers, radishes, beetroots, squashes, Swedes, you name it, it's in there. And this, my dad picked this up from work for me. It's just a sea salt box, which they use in the kitchen where he works. And we've named it the seed tub so that nobody thinks they're getting anything out of here that's other than that. And then in here at the moment, I have got masses of these packets from Parker's. I think Parker's were doing some sort of sale and I went a bit mad. And the reason I went a bit mad is because my favourite seed company, which was CK Horticultural Supplies, unfortunately have closed down. And this is, I used to get little bags like this. These are Malaga Violet radishes. I used to get these little bags, really great value for money. And I went online to start my order this year. All gone. Completely gone. Website shut down, everything. So really gutted. Sorry for them, because obviously it was a hard decision for them to make. Some of the things I can show you in here is I've got some more broad beans, which I'm going to plant because quite often I find the mice get them over winter. Some of the other things that are going to go in shortly, although don't need to really go in till sort of May because they get sown outdoors usually, is pak choi. And I've got 2 varieties here. I've got red choi, which is, you can see the leaves are sort of got a reddish tinge to them. And I've just got an ordinary pak choi called Shanghai, which is just the plain variety there. I'm looking forward to trying those this year because family have started eating it. They wouldn't before. Runner beans. These are brilliant, you know. So these seeds, little packs like this, that's got, I'm trying to feel, 3, 6, probably got 11 seeds in it, which I picked these up in the range, 89p a packet. So for 89p, let's say there's 10 in there, 10 runner bean seeds, white emergo, this variety, that would last you for the year easily. In fact, I would say that for most families, 5 would probably be enough, 5 plants. So that's probably 2 years worth for 89p. And if you think of all the runner beans you get off there, the numerous amounts of runner beans that you can keep in your freezer for the rest of the year, they're really good value. This again, aubergine, black beauty. I'm not even going to hazard a guess how many are in here. Maybe sort of 10, 15 again. Black beauty, these should be going in indoors March to April according to this packet. Again, 89p. A couple of aubergines off each plant, maybe maximum about 3 to get decent size, depending on when you plant them. You can sow them outdoors from April to May. I've never grown aubergine outdoors. They've always stayed in the greenhouse, so I'm not sure about that. But anyway, 89p from the range, really good value. So that's 2 ways that I keep my seeds. They're in a tub, they're in these boxes. For someone starting out, I wouldn't recommend this. I had a huge amount of varieties, and I mean, literally I've got 2 of these boxes full. So there's 120 different seeds in those. and they're great because they're very small. But actually, I've seen people that keep the packets. Now, if you've got packets like this, that's ideal. But if you've got little packets like the J. Parker's J. Parker's ones, once you open those, you've kind of destroyed the packet. You can either seal it up with some tape or roll it over and seal it up. So that's why I found these useful, because once I'd opened those packets from CK, the little plastic ones with the yellow labels, these were ideal for putting them in. They keep them watertight and dry, which is also very useful. So it's each to their own. It's a great way of doing it if you can not lose the list. So what I would advocate is typing the list, keeping a hard copy, but also having it on your computer, because then you don't lose the list, which is what I did at one point. Luckily, it was found. Anyway, so that's just a couple of ways of doing it. I do like the ones where people have got these ones that hold usually would hold photos. And if you're keeping packets like this, you can keep them in there quite easily, and they're nice and easy to label. It's entirely up to you what you do. I did bulk buy some seeds. So at one point I had a kilo of broad beans, and they're never going to fit into those little things. So even with that sort of form of keeping seeds, you need to have other options. So one thing to say is to keep them dry and away from sort of lots of heat and stuff like that. So a cool, dry place, and that will help you keep your seeds so they last for longer. People often say about when they open the tombs up in Egypt, they have been able to grow seeds that were left in the tombs. So seeds will last if not propagated. And obviously that was a nice dry and cool underground sort of temperature in there for them. So probably optimal conditions. But if you keep them in somewhere which is damp and warm, they're not going to last. So it's a bit about how you keep them. Some seeds, I find lettuce seeds, after a couple of seasons, they've gone. They just don't germinate as well. So it just depends on what you're growing as well. The last thing I'm going to talk about today is garlic and onions. I haven't got any onion sets as yet. Why haven't I got any onion sets? Primarily because my dad is always a monster at growing onions, and I went up to his greenhouse the other day at the allotments, and there's loads in trays, bigger cells than these, probably about and then maybe that big cells, sort of that square, and he's put one onion in each, and he's growing those on already, so they're ready to go in. And then actually it was New Year's Day, I was a bit bored because everyone at home works in catering, so they were all off working on New Year's Day, and I decided to pop over to Burford Garden Company, and I purchased these garlics. This is Eden Rose, French garlic. It's got a strong flavour and a pink skin, and it's a hard neck that you plant in spring. Now I've already been in and I've opened up all the cloves, so they're already individual cloves, which is how you plant them. So I've taken the bulb and I've already done that to them, so they're ready to go in. I'm just going to prepare some beds and get those ones in, and then I've chosen to go, because Dad's already got the onions in, or some onions in, I've decided to go for shallots. And this is a menhir, which is a banana shallot menhir, again from Burford Garden Company. You plant these in spring, about 12 centimetres apart, and what happens is it's actually got like you can feel the cloves, almost like cloves in it. So you plant that, and this will give out 8, maybe 10 more of these. And shallots are really beautiful in cooking. I really rate them. So that one's a mild sweet flavour. This one doesn't say what flavour it is. It just says great yields, ideal for the kitchen garden. Again, 12 centimetres apart. And this is Longour, which is another French banana shallot. Now, you can see that one there. So the difference between menhir and Longour. So actually, Longour, I think, will be a longer shallot looking at the picture, like actually reach a longer length. They're quite mild normally, so it'd be interesting to see what I get from those. And I will at some point be putting those in the ground and doing a small video on that, about how I'm laying them out, how I'm putting them in rows. It says on these packets that you should move them every year to prevent pests and anything that's got in the ground, any disease that's got in the ground. I've never really had a huge problem with that. I've been getting a problem with allium minor for leeks. A lot of my leeks were decimated this year by allium minor. They were uncovered though, so maybe that's got something to do with it. But the shallots and onions I've never really had an issue with, so we'll see. The biggest issue I have with onions and shallots is that we grow loads and then I need drying space for them, which invariably ends up being the greenhouses, which this year will be filled with peppers and etc. I should say that I'm also going to be starting alongside the peppers. I'm going to, I might give it another couple of weeks actually, but the cucumbers, I tend to a little bit later on those. They grow really quickly once they're away and in the ground. And I find that if you grow them too early at home, they can get leggy and quite big. And again, this year we probably had, I'm trying to think where they were planted. We grow our cucumbers outside this year. And I think I probably had about 8 to 10 plants. So we had an abundance of cucumbers. I didn't do gherkins this year, this last year, because we still have a load pickled. So I might change the balance a bit on that this year as well. Anyway, I hope that's given you a little bit of insight into what I'm planting in terms of chilies, peppers, my new Brussel Sprout find, which is the Sprout Flowers, and a little bit of insight into how I keep my seeds. Because when I did videos before, people did ask, how do you maintain them all? Particularly at the time when I had a lot of varieties of tomatoes. Not going to go so mad on tomatoes this year. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope to see you in future videos where I will actually be at the allotment and I will be showing you a bit more of what goes on up there and everything else. It's a nice day today. I just thought I'd do a video at home for a change. Take care. See you again. Bye.